1938 he played for Australia. Next year.
Not the same year. And Ron Rankin the same year.
Ron did too, did he? Why did I miss him out? He's a random player. Yes, but anyway, Romali did that straight from school into the Australian team. Not bad. Now, rugby. Rugby. Two things I'm a little bit proud of. The Randwick school, high school, played us, and they were absolutely filthy around these 1973 years or so, around about then. One Hurlston guy was caught trapped in a ruck like this, and he's lying on the ground with his body, and a Randwick bloke comes, looks at him, looks at the referee, and then goes on his face. Lovely. And then I was standing next to John Howard, who's now the Australian Rugby Union treasurer, down at Randwick. He was a referee at that time, and here's Randwick playing again, and the breakaways around the blind side of the scrum. And here's the other breakaway. So he gets his hand, and with his hand, he's swinging these punches, aiming for some reason, for some area between his legs. I'm not sure why, but that's what he was trying to punch. And John said, "What can the referee do? What can he do?" Good question. And I thought about it. We needed the same system as was in rugby league, where qualified referees on the lines could report foul play because they can see from two angles and there's no hiding from the referee. Well, I moved that motion in the state schools rugby union. I consulted Roger Vanderfield, rang him up and got some advice about how to do it. And that became law in the rugby union. That's the law today. And it's cleaned up internationals, it's cleaned up everything. I can't claim credit for it. It's very hard to claim credit for anything in the rugby union because so many people jump on the bandwagon. It's very hard. But anyway, I know I moved that motion, and in a reasonable time afterwards, that was the new law. So I'm happy about that. And recently, when it was announced that the Lions were coming out to play us last year, I thought, this is a rot, this is an imperialistic rot. They bring out a representative team from 4 countries and they knock us off one at a time. They knock off Australia and they knock off New Zealand. Why don't we have our representative team bring together Australia and New Zealand, call them the Anzacs? Is that you, John Howard? And discuss it with John. Oh, I don't think they do this, Stuart. The program said, I'm always negative, Stuart. John told me that. I'm always negative. I don't think they do. John, can't you see the Australian backs running behind the New Zealand forwards? He's the treasurer, mind you. He's supposed to get money in. Stuart, that's not a bad idea. Leave it with me. So away it goes, and everybody thinks it was their idea. But anyway, it's on in July up in Brisbane. And I've been offered 4 tickets to go. I don't think I will, but anyway, that's very nice. So that was something that has been born out of this relationship with Randwick, which has been a good thing for Hurlston. It got $10,000 the Randwick Club raised for the Gary Craven Fund where he broke his neck. Now, one thing I must just say before I finish up there, Jim Downs was quite a fellow, and he was a PE teacher in this school, and I will never forget one day when he had the kids all lined up at the open, and they were listening to Jim talk about something, and one kid had turned around for some reason or other, and he was looking at something or somebody. So Jim took off and he sprinted flat out for about 30 yards away, 25 yards away, flat out. And all I know is that at the time he hit that kid, he was perfectly horizontal to the ground and about 3 feet above it, and he bowled that bloke fantastically. Those things are gone forever. He could be sued now. I mean, we must remember these things. And Downs did. Well look, I think I'm beginning to actually run out of time, really, when you think about it. What do I want to say? I must cut it down. Oh yes, one thing I was happy to be associated with, perhaps just chance, but at Hurlston we've only had, since 1970 when I've been here, we've only had 3 kids that have come top of a subject in the HSC, as far as I know. The first was John Fraser, top in ag, and I taught him in the junior school. I'm happy about that. Mr. Russell primed him up for the HSC. And then Heather Carmichael came top of Unit 3 Ag, and I primed her up on the preparation of her thesis because I'd had a bit of experience writing research papers. And finally Lee Fay came top of the state in farm engineering, and he was in my house here in Macarthur.